Welcome back. You're watching Newseye now. Grossly irresponsible and unprofessional. Those are the harsh words coming from the Wall Street Journal's editor after an article in Pakistan's press claims their correspondent was actually a spy. The article, titled "Journalists as Spies in Fata," printed on November 5th, alleges that Matthew Rosenberg is working as the chief operative of the CIA and Blackwater in Pakistan, and that he also has links to the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad. And the article is based on unnamed sources. Well, allegations that have shocked journalists from Pakistan and abroad working in the most dangerous and delicate of circumstances. In a letter addressed to the government of Pakistan, 21 top executives and editors of leading international media organizations have collectively voiced concern over the article, saying, Mr. Rosenberg is a respected journalist of high standing. Not only was the article unsubstantiated, it critically compromised his security and raised questions about whether he can return to Pakistan to work safely in the future. The letter goes on to stress it's not just Matthew Rosenberg's life that's being endangered. These are difficult times for all journalists in Pakistan. Our employees already face an array of threats, including violence and kidnapping, as they strive to provide timely and accurate coverage. Now those risks have been needlessly increased. And lastly, it read that it is particularly upsetting that this threat has come from among our own colleagues. Well, let's put all of this to Shirin Mazari, the editor of The Nation newspaper. She joins me tonight live from our studio in Islamabad. Good evening to you. Thanks very much indeed for being with us tonight. As the editor of a respected national newspaper, are you embarrassed that your article that was printed in your newspaper has not only put colleagues and international colleagues and journalists' lives in danger, but also potentially some of your own employees?
Look, this is a load of nonsense. One, we put a question mark, and we have every right to question a journalist who is based in New Delhi, who comes and breaks the law of Pakistan, because as you know, the government of Pakistan has forbidden foreign journalists to go without permission into FATA. And this gentleman was continuously doing that. We got reports that he was having strange times and meetings with officials whom we have named of the FATA Secretariat and at odd times. So it's not as if everything is unsubstantiated. And I think if we are in a state of war, especially in those areas, and we as Pakistanis have a right to question any foreigner's movement which looks suspicious. And what I find highly ridiculous is that every time we question any of the antics or movements of an American citizen, it is regarded as endangering the life of. I wrote a column in the news for which the American ambassadress tried to stop that column, and this is a well-known public case. She said I had endangered the life of an American citizen by the name of Craig Davis simply because we had written that he was working for Creative Associates whom Blackwater was protecting in Peshawar, and that he had been deported. And we have the deportation papers to begin with, and that is something that we had said.
Okay, but this isn't just about your right to question people or to write about anyone. If you let me finish, please, Shirin Mazari, let me just ask you this. This isn't about questioning. We all question. I'm questioning you tonight. But the point is it's about journalist safety. There are journalists that work for your own newspaper that work in the tribal areas that will have meetings at awkward times. This is a country at war. They will arrange meetings at awkward times. They will arrange meetings that are in secret. And every journalist all over the world does that. I've done that myself, but that doesn't make me a spy.
Yes, but yes, that's true. But if a foreign journalist based in New Delhi comes, he cannot contravene the law. The law requires that he needs to get permission. Why he was going clandestinely, and to say that we should simply not question. And what the hypocrisy. And the Wall Street Journal, by the way, just to set the record straight, never had the courtesy to write to us first to seek our explanation or to give us their objections. Secondly, the so-called international group that has signed this letter to Cairo is primarily American and British with one or two other. So it's not international in the sense it's not a global representation. Let's get that fact out of the way. The fact of the matter is that they have not denied the assertions we made in the story. Nobody has countered those assertions on the part of the Wall Street Journal or the reporter in question. And by the way, we carried the reporter's point of view. He said, yes, he had known these people, he had met them. He said he wasn't doing anything wrong, but he was breaking the law of the country. So are the Americans telling us that American citizens and journalists can contravene any law that exists of the country?
You're an editor of a newspaper. If a journalist that works for you wanted to go abroad and try and uncover a story, journalists do this the world over to uncover stories.
He'd be arrested in America if he did anything like this. He would probably be arrested.
No, but you won't be called a spy and endanger lives. Are you saying, we all know that the Daniel Pearl case, that he was named a spy and he was beheaded?
Look, I'm not interested in the Daniel Pearl case. That has nothing to do with me. But this gentleman was based in New Delhi. He is not based in Islamabad, and he should have obeyed the law of the land. And if they had a problem with our report, they should have told us first. But let's not forget what has happened. And you know, there is a history of American journalists misbehaving in Pakistan. Look at the case of Nicholas Schmidl at the Institute of Strategic Studies. Came as a researcher, then claimed he was a reporter when he was caught in a sensitive area in Balochistan. Eventually, he had to be deported.